Good morning, everybody. How are you? Who's with us this morning on our How to Go Raw series? How are you guys feeling? What's your day starting off like? I'm going to get you over here so I can see who's with us. So we're going to wait a few minutes for everyone to join in. How are you doing this morning, Luka?
I'm doing great. I'm
What
doing great.
time? Great, you look great. What time is it in Croatia?
It's 5 p.m. as it will be every single day during this challenge. Here in my time zone is gonna be 5 p.m. in the evening.
Okay, great. Well, we're so glad to have you with us, and welcome to everybody who is joining us this morning. We are so excited to have you. And I want to let you know that today we might go a little closer to a half an hour because we need to give a little background information before moving forward. So first, we want to introduce ourselves. I am Kim Whitaker. A lot of people know me as Rejuvenate Raw with Kim. Maybe you were brought to my page because you have heard of my somewhat miraculous healing transformation a few years back, or maybe you found me through my raw recipe book or through my recipe posts on other pages. So before we begin, I just want to start off by reassuring those who are here because of health issues. You guys, I know how scary this can be, but I believe that my journey has proven that there is always hope of turning things around and getting better. So just hang in there with us this week, and I think you'll feel encouraged and inspired to go forward with your journey. So Luka, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course, of course. My name is Luka Hinić, and I'm from Croatia, Europe. I work as a certified regenerative detoxification specialist and a health and mindset coach, and that's what I'm gonna be providing here in this series and in this challenge and everything else. Some of you may know me by my story as well, from coming from chronic illness to this state where I'm now very, very healthy, healthier than I've ever been. Some of you may know me by my content, and some of you may know me because you work with me or you have been chatting with me for some time already. And that's about it for now.
All right, thanks, Luka. So I just want to let you guys know that you are taking a great first step just by being here today. I want to congratulate each of you for being committed to following our series this week, for putting in the time and putting in your focus on why it's important to go raw. And you're making a commitment to move forward by learning how to get started, right? So we took a poll and asked, what is most challenging about going raw? The answers were so interesting. I loved reading each and every one of them. A lot of people said it was hard to be raw when the family was not, and there's no support. They're around cooked food all the time. Others said that they just didn't even know where to get started and they gave up before even trying, and that they've tried it before and have failed. So first of all, I want to say I completely understand everything you're saying because Luka and I have been there and have experienced what you guys are experiencing. In the beginning, I had zero support. My husband is now raw, and he went raw a few months after me just because seeing the miraculous changes it made in me. But at the beginning, no one believed in what I was doing. So I knew I had to do it for me. I was the one that was going to die. So I had to just stay within my own beliefs and do what I need to do. And look, it worked. So that issue is something we're going to talk about later in the week, how to deal with the concerns of others around you. So why are you guys here today? I'm sure a lot of you are here to just like dip your toe in the water, right? Like, what is all this about? Maybe I want to think about it a little bit. I don't want to go too far with it. And then others are like, hey, I am ready to jump in with both feet. I'm ready to do this. So this series we're doing this week is for all of you, no matter where you are on the scale. I think you'll learn enough information to decide if it's something you want to incorporate in your life. Okay, so whatever reason you have for being here, whatever your interest level is, we just want to say it is so, so awesome that you have chosen to care about your health enough to tune in and take this first step. So really, you guys, just pat yourself on the back. Congratulate yourself for doing what you've done today. I found in my journey, we have to celebrate every positive step we make along the way, and we do it for ourselves. And when we continue to speak love and appreciation over what we're doing, then that helps us go forward, because we can't expect it from anyone else. So we give that to ourselves, and you are worthy of doing this. Okay, so Luke and I want to briefly share with you our story and how we were led to the raw food diet and how it helped to save our lives. Luka, do you want to get started?
Yeah, I can definitely get started. Definitely briefly, because it's really a long story, and whoever will want to find out all the details about my story, it's written down on my page and on my website. But briefly, I started having health issues when I was 16 years old. I started having bowel issues, diarrheas, and I was uh, in my flare-ups. For that lasted for around 2 weeks. I lost always around 30 pounds of weight in 2 weeks with constant diarrhea, like 50 times per day going to the toilet. Was very weak, chronic fatigue and everything else. And with time, that's gotten just worse and worse and worse, and I was living a not so healthy lifestyle. Let's just say it like that. A lot of fast food, a lot of partying, a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs, a lot of everything. So and I was a very emotionally also like very angry person, a lot of resentment, a lot of unresolved issues and relationships in my life. So it just led me to the point where it just got worse and worse and worse. And then I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. After that, I've started getting medications for it and everything else. I got to the point where my bones started hurting and gotten swollen. So I got my second diagnosis, which was rheumatoid arthritis. With time, it's just gotten worse and worse because I didn't change absolutely anything in my life, and I didn't know that I needed to change anything in my life. Doctors were just telling me, well, you can just do whatever you want as long as you take the medications. And I'm like, okay, fine. That was good for me because I was young and I wanted to still party and do whatever. And then it got to the point where I've gotten gastritis, and to the point where my liver was so inflamed that they didn't know for 4 months what was actually happening. At the end, they found out that it was autoimmune hepatitis, which was my fourth diagnosis at that time. And they told me that my liver will fail and that I will need to go have a transplant, and that I will need to be on corticosteroids for the rest of my life. And at that point, it was a breaking point for me. After that, I completely had disbelief in doctors, in hospitals, in myself, in everything in my life, and I was desperate enough to be open for anything else but that. And at that point, my dear friend of today sent me a video of Dr. Robert Morse, which is called I forgot now. No, everything you need to know about foods. So that was my first video that I watched from Dr. Robert Morse, and it I was desperate enough to watch it, and it opened my eyes completely. After that video, I just watched hundreds of those videos, and I started incorporating everything on myself. within 2-3 months of detoxing, my mind opened up as my body got cleaner. I got more aware of myself and my emotions and my patterns, and I started working on all of that together. And it was a rough ride detox wise, but I will go later a bit in these days more deeper into it. But eventually, after around 6 months of detoxing, all of my symptoms were gone, and I started getting better and better and better and better. And that's when I started working as a regenerative detoxification specialist and a coach, because I thought to myself, like, why don't people know about this? Let's help people become a healthier version of themselves, because every single one of you have the power to do that for yourself, no matter where you are at the moment in your life.
Wow. Every time I hear your story, it just amazes me. And that you, at such a young age, chose that for yourself to take the somewhat less traveled path to health transformation through natural means, and to let go of the medications and to do what you needed to do. And now look at you. You're doing so great and you're healthy, no medications. I'm so proud of you, Luka,
Exactly.
and
Thank
for
you.
how you're helping so many people. All right, I will go on with my story. I know a lot of you have probably heard bits and pieces of it. Maybe you've seen the pictures when I was dying in the hospital. So like Luka, I'm gonna go through it briefly. So throughout my entire life, I had health issues. Some were more severe than others. I had asthma as a child, a spastic colon as a teenager, and even in my 40s, I had to have a hysterectomy, and I just had all kinds of health issues. I always had trouble with back pain. My issues got much worse in my 50s, to the point of being near death back in 2017. Between 2015 and 17, my symptoms got much worse, to the point of hardly being able to walk. My body was taken over by flesh-eating bacteria. Some places were even eaten down to the bone. I can remember being awake at night when my ear was being eaten off with my ear in colloidal silver. I had extreme anxiety, and you guys, if you've never gone through this, you can't even begin to understand it. I couldn't stop it. I was like, I would ask myself, hey, I'm this professional, rational person. How could I go around the house screaming and I couldn't even stop? Sometimes I didn't know where I was, who I was. Doctors gave up on me, and eventually I gave up on them. They had no idea how to help me, so they just called me crazy. I had Lyme disease, flesh-eating bacteria, a life-threatening bacteria in my colon, eating it from the inside out. I had to be flown to Florida 4 to 5 times to put healthy bacteria in my colon to save my life. I had a very large lump on my thyroid that had all the markings of the big C, that I refused to get tested. I had candida, mold toxicity, heavy metal toxicity. I was often covered in hives and rashes. I had severe reactions and would faint at a moment's notice. I had the worst parasite infestation of anyone I have ever heard of. I got down to under 90 pounds, and I'm 5'5". I was housebound and horribly sick for around 5 years. But then I heard about Dr. Morse, and I heard about the raw fruit diet, and everything changed when I chose to educate myself about why raw food is best. And then I chose to implement the diet in my life, along with the emotional aspect of it. I started to recover fairly quickly. And keep in mind, I had tried almost every diet out there, macrobiotic, keto, paleo, you name it, I had tried it. Nothing worked. I had been to doctor after doctor across the country, and I even was flown across the world to get treatment. Nothing helped. I took over 100 supplements a day. I went on parasite medication. I could just go on and on and on. I stayed 3 weeks in a clinic to help me detox. Nothing worked. So you can imagine what a miracle it was for me when I started to improve after going on mostly all fruit, which doctors had told me to stay away from because it would make me worse. I figured I had tried everything else, so I'm going to try fruit for a day. There's nothing left for me. I'm dying. I'm going to give it a try. If I am not dead by the second day, then I'm going to keep going. And that's what I did. I didn't feel worse the second day. After going all fruit, I felt better. And it was pure heaven for me to be able to eat fruit because I had kept away from anything sweet for over 5 years. So it was truly a miracle come true. All right. So let's get on to why you guys are here. So over the last few years of talking with so many of you on the Raw journey, I've found that typically those who are committed to the Raw lifestyle have to have a strong why they are eating raw. And that why has to come from educating ourselves about why raw food is best. Luka and I had a strong why. We wanted to live and we wanted to recover. And I know everybody isn't in that situation, but most people who come to Raw do it because of health issues. And you know, I've done a lot of studies on the mind-body connection through my recovery. And I have found that when we start to educate ourselves, then we create new neurological changes in our brain, which then changes the way we think. So it is so, so important to do this. So we have to start off by developing that why through education. When I first was introduced to Dr. Morse, I spent hours and hours for days and days watching his videos until it was so deeply ingrained in my brain about why it was important. I couldn't even begin to think that it wasn't going to work. And so I just really encourage all of you to start out by educating yourself. And you're doing it by being here, but you want to go forward and do even more. So Luke and I, our eyes were open to health transformation through the raw food diet, like we said, by Dr. Robert Morse. He's on YouTube. He has hundreds of videos. We highly recommend watching the Great Lymphatic System. It really kind of pulls everything together. I didn't even know what the lymphatic system was before all of this happened, but now I know it's the most important system in our body in order to help us detox. So Dr. Morse has uncovered that the two keys to health transformation are taking out the garbage, and we'll explain that, Luka will here in a minute, and providing the right foods and the conditions. So I'm going to turn this over to Luka. He's our detox expert, and he's going to talk about why raw foods are best for the body.
Yes, so that is what everyone is interested in. And also I'm gonna be talking a lot more in details about that tomorrow. But briefly, why raw foods are the best for the body? Well, firstly, they are real foods, and we are living in times, in this modern times, where almost 90% of the foods that we have today is not even from nature. It's man-made, it's processed, it's dead in that sense. So raw foods are alive. They have living enzymes intact. They are not chemically processed. Uh, they're natural. They're actual food. So, for example, I don't consider that uh, healthy food as the label goes. It's just real food. Everything else is not real food, and that's just what it is. So that's definitely reason number one why it's so good for our bodies. So reason number two is because they digest the quickest. They help our body to cleanse. They help our body to get rid of what it doesn't need, to help to get to balance, to eliminate, to open up the elimination channels and everything our body needs to actually heal itself and to regenerate itself and recover itself from any disbalance that is actually happening. So that's why the raw foods are definitely best. They give, because they use less, the body needs to use less energy to digest it and to actually process it. It has a lot of more energy to take care of itself, and they also help out and support the body with cleansing, with stirring up everything that's inside that needs to get out, and helping it taking it out as a garbage can. Let's say it like that, to a garbage can.
All right, Luka, thank you so much. And as you guys watch Dr. Morse videos, you'll get a lot more detail than we can provide to you on these short live events this week. But I think it's enough to get your interest and to help you move forward in educating yourself. So what's our takeaway for today? First of all, it's important that we must educate ourselves about why eating raw is best in order to have a strong why, which helps us stay committed to living this lifestyle. And you guys, I still today, I'm almost over 2.5 years in, I still educate myself constantly about why eating raw is best, and I love learning about the different foods and the nutrition it provides to our bodies. So it's just a great hobby in a sense. So, and then second of all, we've learned a little bit about why raw foods are best in health transformation. So we also found that people who take actionable steps immediately after learning something new will be more successful in achieving their goal. So every day this week, we're going to give you all an actionable step. Are you guys in this with me? What do you think? Are you willing to do the actionable step? It's pretty easy. So today we're inviting you to watch a Dr. Morse video. We're going to put a link to the Great Lymphatic System under our video today. And it is, like I said, a great resource to educate yourself in more detail about why the raw food diet is important and how these processes work in the body. You're going to find it very, very interesting. For me, when I watch it, it's like, oh my gosh, finally someone has explained why I'm having these crazy symptoms, why all this is happening to me, why these infections have taken over my body. And it was just like a miracle come true. And it's like, wow, now I know what the cause is. Now I can fix it. It was such a relief. And I think a lot of you are gonna feel the same way. The video is rather, I think it's over an hour, so you can watch it in parts throughout your day, but I think you're gonna totally enjoy it. So we're going to be expanding on all of this information coming up. We have a raw challenge on February 15th. I think a few of you here on, I see a few of you on our live that have been part of our challenge. So if you could type in your experience with being on our challenges, they are a blast. We have a challenge page on Facebook. We do 5 days of eating raw food together. I have videos where I do juice, a smoothie, and a raw food recipe. People post their pictures. They talk about their successes. They talk about their failures. Yeah, some of us, you know, it takes a while to learn how to do these new things. It's new equipment and, you know, it's just a brand new way of eating. So it's just so fun to share in this together. So I'm going to put a link to that challenge. We're, 3 weeks away or so. So there's a little time to sign up for those of you who are interested. And the coolest thing of all, I mean, you get a lot. You get a download of my recipe book. Luka and I will come on live for 45 minutes every day, just like we are, but it's going to be in much better detail, talking about the steps to go live, step 1, step 2, or raw. And it's going to, for those of you who have struggled about how to do it, we're going to map that out for you, and it's going to make it really easy to follow. So if you're having trouble, you know, sticking with this raw food diet, you'll definitely want to be part of our challenge. And then just to be part of this experience on the page with so many other people, you're going to make friends. You know, most of my friends now are in the raw food world that I have met online. And it's just been a blast meeting so many new people, and you'll find the same thing when joining our challenge group. So the page, the link will tell you a little bit more about what's involved. So I'll put that under this video. So, oh, it has a link to my book too. So if you want to get started making those on your own, my book is a great resource. It tells you everything from how to choose your equipment, what equipment you'll need, your shopping list. It gives you easy to follow recipes. There's 101 recipes. The book is gorgeous. It is 8 by 10, full page pictures, laminated, spiral bound. I have never seen such a beautiful book. And if you have that book, would you type in the comments about your experience with it so far? So we invite you to join us tomorrow. We're going to be getting more into the nuts and bolts of eating raw, what foods to eat, how to transition to raw. So you won't want to miss it if you are ready to do this for yourself. And anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed our video. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you who tuned in live today. I know a lot of you are coming on after work when your schedule accommodates that. You'll be able to find this video on the page and under the units tab. And so you can rewatch it at any time. So I look forward to seeing so many of you back here tomorrow. And I just appreciate each and every one of you who have given us this time. Luka, any parting words?
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for anyone who's joining us for this 5 days. Thank yourself for doing this for yourself and making a change in your life for the better. It takes courage to change something that you've been doing for your whole life.
Exactly. So let's keep moving forward, you guys. All right, we will see you back, same place, same time tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.